morning, at least it is for us, and welcome to Murphy's Law Garage. Today, we make the Kia
Hyundai
a lot louder. Y'all haven't met Jacob's Hyundai Elantra, but you're about to get thrown right into it. Stick around. Dang it. What is your obsession with Korean cars?
Well, let's start off by saying that it's the good Korea. So, I like the Elantra N because it's a Civic Type R competitor for a lot less money, and it does just about everything the Civic Type R does just as well.
Yeah, and then Car and Driver just did one of their 0 to 150 to 0.
And the Elantra N actually beat it by, I think, by 5 or 6 seconds.
Well, what's more flattering, I think, is that the Elantra N was even included in a test like that, right? And
it's such a big statement from a company who's been having the N cars since 2019. And, you know, started off with the Veloster, but they killed that little weird thing off. So now we have the Elantra and the Kona, which are probably two of the stupidest cars on the market, and I love them.
All right, why don't you show us what we're doing today?
We have a titanium mid-pipe from SXTH Element. Thank you guys, this product looks great. That we will be putting on. It removes the secondary catalytic converter.
Why don't you rip that out of the bag? I want it on titanium. I want to see it.
Of course, I picked the most curved one that will take the longest, but lo and behold, it weighs 8 ounces total.
Oh, that sure looks like titanium. Let's see. These are magnets. Yeah, it's titanium. It's I know the video does no justice to this for y'all, but that pipe is so light.
Dude, like, I am dumbfounded.
The piece of plastic he just took off of it weighs about as much as that pipe.
And
so what does this do to the car, Jake?
So essentially, it'll remove the secondary catalytic converter and the resonator, which will free up some weight, along with being weightless virtually. It allows for a little bit more noise, while still retaining the factory valved exhaust. But on the other hand, it also makes in mode even more ridiculous, so there will be even more pops, even more bangs, and more childish activities.
Stop right there. We need the people to... you may have watched the Mustang exhaust video and understand how loud the Elantra is, but right here, we're going to go ahead and inject a clip of just how loud the Elantra in mode is right here. All right, so you get how loud it is, and my concern is that we're probably going to shatter windows on houses with those pops with this exhaust.
I mean, when driving, it sounds like a machine gun going off, so I can only imagine how much more ridiculous this is going to be.
Look at how beautiful these welds are on this titanium. And let me tell you something, this is thin. Like it sounds like plastic, it's so thin. Which is fun. Don't ever hit anything on the underbody of your car, Jacob.
Just to show the...
Here's my fingernail for comparison. It's about as thick as the thickest fingernail on me. Titanium is ridiculously strong, but it can also be fragile. So as long as Jake doesn't decide to Dukes of Hazzard jump something and land on a stump, I think he'll be okay. Regardless,
it's blue like a Subaru, so you know what they say. Rally, you know?
So before we put this on, you're going to want to know if it increases performance. Now, asterisks, things like DA change. Sometimes launches are better in some cases than other, and this car will spin the tires really hard through first gear. So we're going to pay more attention to the 60 to 130. The DA is probably going to go a little up. But let's drop a Dragy run right here. Go ahead. All right, well, that's enough talking about it. Let's go put that beautiful piece of titanium artwork on Jake's Elantra in and see just how much more silly the exhaust can sound and whether or not it actually goes any faster. Well, all right. Now we've got a car picked up off the ground. We're on ramps, but there's also a jack back there because for some reason this car is wildly sketchy up on the ramps. Got stands in the front, so we're gonna get underneath here and start getting the stock exhaust pulled off so that we can get the titanium exhaust put on. All right, so initial assessment, we're gonna be unbolting right here, right off the downpipe. The downpipe appears to be possibly more than one piece. It looks like I see a section ahead of that. I hadn't looked at it too close.
The downpipe on this thing is massive. It goes from the back of the engine all the way to like right there.
Yeah, it's like I see another piece, the flex section ahead of this. But for what we're doing here, we're going to be unbolting 2 bolts here. We've got an exhaust hanger rubber here. If you're doing this the old school way, you would have already wanted to have got some WD-40 or penetrating oil in here to try to wet this up. Though it doesn't appear to be on there very tight, so no big deal. And then we've got 2 bolts back over here. So this is a one-piece section, but the titanium setup we have, I think, has a break in it, like right here where we're going to put a clamp. So that's what I'm going to work on here. I'm going to unbolt those 2 back there. I'm going to remove the hanger and then unbolt these here, and then we'll bring you back and you'll see me try to slide this out of here. Hopefully we've got enough ground clearance. All right, so for removing these exhaust hangers, we talk about it in every single video. These things are awesome. This is like a dedicated exhaust hanger removal tool. This is made by Lyle, made in the USA. It's literally as simple as putting it on there and then squeezing the rubber bushing off. Don't even need any lube, it just works. So if you tend to mess with exhaust a lot, and what do you call a lot? I've had like 28 cars in my life. He's had probably a dozen. Most cars we work on, we change the exhaust on. So if you think about it, I've spent way too many hours of my life being angry at rubber hangers. This one on the Hyundai is not too tight. But if you've ever worked on any on Japanese cars specifically, oh my gosh, are those hangers tight. It's really hard to get them off. So you could just get you one of these tools. It's like 30 bucks or something like that, and it makes life so much easier. Anyways, now that that rant is over with, we've got 2 bolts out over there. I've got 2 bolts out over here. I'm not sure exactly which direction this is meant to slide out in, but I'm gonna guess this way. So I'm gonna do that. Yep, that happened. That one popped off like that, and then let's go straight out the back. It's not as heavy as you think it would be. You want to get the scale and find out exactly how much weight we've lost there?
You know what? Let's do it.
Let's do it. Be right. All right. Let's find out how much this weighs. Get on there. That is 184.6.
I weighed 185 by myself.
I don't know. Maybe you moved around too much. Get off and get back on again. Let's see. Now get on. This scale might need to be calibrated. Dick, jump on there. So 184.6 to 183.2.
I can't say that entirely seems right.
1.4 pounds.
There's no way.
Try again. I think the scale is dumb. Hold on. All right. Let's see. This is approximately 9.5 pounds with that clamp. The clamp is like the heaviest part of the entire exhaust.
That's the giantest thing I ever seen.
Like 12.5, 13. It's not, this is not as heavy as you would imagine it is.
Is that just a resonator? Do I not have a cat on it?
It's like gray black in here. I need my phone to light it up. Here, pass me your phone.
I got the light on already.
Yep, just a resonator.
Oh, I have no secondary cat. Cool. Thanks, Hyundai.
Maybe the secondary cat hides in the in that mid-pipe setup, though it doesn't look like there'd be enough room.
Dad.
This is not as heavy as you think it'd be, though.
It's definitely not as light as
I
that,
think
for sure.
the scale is pretty accurate. I think there's only like maybe 4 pounds of difference between these two,
Dad?
maybe 5. Yeah, baby.
Let's see how I weigh with this flower here.
Okay, we'll check in a second. So I don't think there's a ton of difference in weight between these two. But I can tell you, look at the difference. Like, you see how much gentler this bend is? Not only is it a larger diameter pipe, but the difference in the bend radius.
It's a lot smoother, for sure.
Right, so it's much more gentle. It accomplishes the same thing, but you don't have this pinch point right here. And that story kind of repeats everywhere. This bend is that much more gentle than this one. This one's much more of a hard 90. So it'll definitely flow more. The titanium for sure is going to make better sounds. And it's a little lighter. It's not a tremendous amount lighter. Don't expect to be saving 20, 30 pounds. It's not. But let's hear what the car sounds like with just a mid-pipe.
Dad.
It doesn't even pop. It just sounds like a noisy 4-cylinder. That's horrible. I'm really, really glad that it has an exhaust system on it that actually sounds worth a damn. That is bad.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Not what I was expecting from
No,
how good it sounds.
I really expected it to sound really nasty. You know, like, it's not. It's horrible. All right, so I've got the front section of this in my hands because I feel like it's going to be easier to do this way. Probably not, but you know, just my luck. Both of our gaskets stayed where they belong. So this gasket is still over here sitting on the flex section. That gasket is still over there sitting on the muffler section in the back. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this guy, slip him in here without scratching it up, slip it on there, and then put a couple of nuts on it to make sure it doesn't fall off. Oh, they're nice and dry. You gotta love that sound.
You don't have any Vaseline, do you?
No, I just normally go for it dry.
Okay, well, that's one way to go about it.
Yeah. It'd be like that sometimes. Okay, so sometimes you just don't have time to prepare for it, you know? I'm not gonna put the rubber mount on just yet, just because that may fight us. So what Jake's gonna do is he's gonna stop the camera for a second, and he's gonna go around, run and grab the back section. And I've already got the clamp on there. We're gonna slip it on and see if I can put them together. All right, so I've got the midsection here. I've already got the clamp slid on this part, and I slid it on this one because you can't get it all the way on this one because of the bend that happens right here. Whereas this one's got a much longer straight section. So I've got it slid all the way on until the titanium lip is showing here so that I know for sure I can get past the edge of the pipe. And also oriented it so that the clamps are facing down where I can easily get to them in the middle of the car. So, like I said, make sure your gasket is still on. And it is. And I'm going to not manage to get this in the hole. There we go. And then slip it in like this. And then, hey buddy.
Is it fall?
It's about winter time, baby. All right, so now that I got it slipped in on this side, I've got this in right here. These two can be made to just kiss like that, which is exactly what we want to see. I'm not sure here. I don't know if this necessarily came with instructions, but I've got a feeling we're probably going to want to tighten this end and tighten this end before trying to clamp this, because it probably wouldn't be good to force these two near each other and then clamp here first. So let's slip this forward. like that. So that it kind of holds the middle at least a little bit. Like that. And then I'm going to get the nuts tightened up here and there, and then we'll bring you back as I'm tightening this up. All right, so I've got this end bolted. I've got that end bolted. Wear hearing protection if you're using an impact, because this titanium pipe pings really loud when the hammer hits. I've got this slipped in just the right place. This titanium pipe stops right at this seam sealer right here, so I've got the clamp sitting right in the middle of that. I'm going to go ahead and slip the rubber back on like this. Spitting would have probably helped, but I was feeling a little dry. So now that everything we know for sure is in a natural place, i.e. we're in the hanger, we're bolted in here, we can then begin to get ourselves set up for the clamping here. What I'm doing right now is I'm trying to rotate this in such a way that I'm sure that we're up against the edge, and then that this clamp is sitting up and away, because you wouldn't want to put this down here where something passing under the car could catch it, but you also want to be able to easily get to it to unbolt it. Also want to make sure there's plenty of clearance here to anything that it might decide to touch. So I'm going to rotate this down just a little bit more, just to make sure we don't have a hot object that close to that parking brake cable, and then I'm going to send it in. Just like that, the car has titanium midpipe. So we're gonna pull all this stuff out. We're gonna sit the car back down at ground level because it's gonna affect the sound. And then we'll fire it up. We'll let it get warm so the exhaust is nice and hot. And then we'll give you some revs so you can hear what it sounds like. Be right back. All right, so we've got it all warmed up. Let's hear it. Good God.
Jesus Christ.
What have you done? Oh gosh.
They're gonna think someone's shooting.
My neighbor is gonna come kill us. It's like bouncing off of their house and coming back this way. Well, that sounds great. I guess we'll go do a drive and then the Dragy run, and then we'll let y'all know how we feel about it. Be right back. Who's making popcorn back there? You know what's funny is that sounds decently loud in here. We know exactly just how wildly loud that is outside of this car. There's decent sound insulation in this thing, so it's not too crazy, but I know out there people are looking for people shooting guns at this point. It's pretty insane. Is that kind of like the Hellcat guys with their supercharged? Your credit score is dropping as we speak.
Well, if that's the case, eco mode here.
30, 60, 1/4 mile, 1/3 mile.
All right, so the Dragy shows, and you saw the sounds. It makes lots of sounds. Sounds like shotguns and popcorn and all that other fun stuff.
Everything in between.
But the Dragy shows a pretty marked improvement in the 60 to 130. Now, Jacob launched the car better, so the 1/4 mile looks better. But that's not what I'm concerned about here. The 60 to 130 is your rolling dyno. The DA went up significantly from like, I think it was like low 30s or something, is less than 100 to hundreds, and it went faster in the 60 to 130 by like 1/10 and a half. So that's not inconsequential for what I didn't think would actually be that big of a difference, because the pipe is bigger and yeah, it's smoother, but it's not like it's got a cat, it's just a resonator.
Yeah, just a resonator in there.
The car liked it. It's faster. So there you go. If you buy the titanium mid-pipe, your car will go faster by 1/10.5 in the 60 to 130, which is substantial for just a bolt-on piece of pipe. Trust me, I know. And 1/10.5 in anything is a lot. So do it. Do it.
Do it.
Just do it.
Like
do
Nike.
it.
Just
Yeah.
do it. Sponsor me.
Anyways, there you go. The Elantra's faster. Seth's going to have to work harder at the track. So anyways, regardless, thank y'all for watching the video. We love you. God bless. Peace.